there, it's Kirby here, and I just got off a call, and we had a fascinating discussion with Ashley from Human Synergistics, and we were talking about organization culture, and of course, Human Synergistics, they sell a product. It's, I think, a fabulous product that helps to assess the current and establish the future culture of organizations. And we got talking about whether or not a board of directors should actually go about doing a culture survey about its own culture, the culture, if you will, of the board. And I got to say, I've got mixed opinions about this. And let me say why. The governance model for well-constructed boards involves having turnover of board members so that you don't get the same people with the same style of thinking over a long period of time. Yes, there are organizations whose directors don't change very much. Now, if you've got the best of the best, this is a good thing. But a lot of times you don't. And a lot of times the organization also could value a great deal from having new thinking, new blood in the board. So my comment when Ashley and I were talking about assessing the culture of a board of directors, my view was, I don't see the point. A lot of the folks on boards, especially when they're senior, they're there to do a job. They probably only meet 6, maybe 7 times a year. And while they have interactions in between, as a general rule, they don't meet often enough to really become a business or a culture. There's just not enough contact. I mean, when you think about the essence of culture, its values, its behaviors, and it's how, people act out when they don't have behaviors consistent with the values. I mean, it just happens. And it's this really complex mix of, where you come from, where I come from, what's normal to me, what's normal to you, and how we make a new normal together at work. Look, a board of directors has a very simple job in that their job is to make decisions. They're to make decisions about the future of the business or the not-for-profit organization that they run. That's their job. What's more important, I think, than the culture of the board is how good they are at decision making. This, to me, is really key. A lot of it falls on the chair of the board, and it also falls on to the governance committee about how they have constructed the rules for how the organization is supposed to work. I mean, if you're a consensus organization, well, there you go. You got to build consensus. Now everything falls to the chair to build that consensus. Maybe you're a board that is made up of people where it's majority rules, and depending on how big a deal it is, it's a 2/3 majority. Well, then the issue becomes, how good are we at debating? How good are we at really analyzing options? And it's on the one hand, it's a very individual task. It's a collective task because if you don't listen well, you're going to get really locked into your mindset and you're just going to make a decision based on what your opinion is rather than letting the facts in. So when it comes to boards of directors, culture, and decision making, here's my summary. Number 1, every organization needs a strong, constructive culture. Yes, there's elements of passive defensive and aggressive defensive that are going to be in there, like that diagram over this shoulder right here. But culture is really the purview of the business, where the people are. Whether they're remote or they're all in one place, it's still a business culture because you interact every day. Board of directors, what matters most there? Decision making and the governance model about how you're going to make decisions. And then that same stuff, decision making, and if you will, the governance model or the decision making framework of your business, they are important too, because if it's just the powerful and the best at debating and the most extroverted that win the day, your company's going to be in trouble. Having well-rounded, well-thought-out mechanisms to build culture, to govern your organization, and to make decisions, this is what helps you have an immensely successful business.